Put it on. Wait. So, Tom, here we
Yes.
are. So just to start off, I want to actually start at the end. So we've just had our biggest month as a closer. So where did we actually finish January on this month?
Right now I'm on 17.5.
I mean,
Uh,
technically we've still got a day, so if you got any more calls
I've
today.
got 3 calls left today. So I'm aiming for 20. I can get another three 12.5k deals in, I reckon.
Hey, there we go. Well, I mean, even if you don't close any today, like that's still like 17.5K is huge. So I think it's so nice to come on and not just say that, not just like, hey, I do 17K a month. I think the context behind what it takes for someone to hit 17K as a high ticket closer is the most important thing. I keep
Hmm.
saying now is like the problem isn't remote sales, it's the majority of people in remote sales that's the problem.
100%. 100%.
Dream selling, or people with less than 6 months experience are now sales coaches selling someone else a dream when they've barely been able to figure out by themselves. So I always think it's nice to get a full picture of kind of what's happened. So yeah, let's kind of go back. So I think when did you join the Close Pro Academy? Was it about a year ago?
It was October 2024. So about what,
Okay, so
14 months, 15 months
yeah,
ago.
so a little over a year ago. So what were you doing before you joined?
Yeah, I worked in sales at a logistics company. So, well, I call it sales, but like now I call this sales. It's like I might as well have been doing something completely different because it's not alike. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got the foundational skills of speaking to people, but it was very much just like price driven work,
Yeah.
big global tenders, and all that kind of stuff. Whereas this is obviously completely different.
Yeah, what I felt like in sales was a busy idiot.
Yeah,
It was, I would always be the top performer, not because I was the most talented at sales, just because I would make sure I call more people and have
yeah,
more conversations. So, it's like when I was in Dubai, we get a list of things we've got a cold call, and most people would do half an hour a day if you're lucky. And I would sit there for 4 hours. I had no contacts.
yeah.
I had nothing. So I knew if I can just sit there and do that. But yeah, I think I underestimated the skill level needed for this space.
Massively,
Yeah.
massively though. Like that was the biggest. It was a big rude awakening for me because I thought, yeah, I've done sales, I'll be fine. And then it's like, this is just complete. I might as well have been a plumber.
Yeah, it's funny. I think of some of the people in the academy. I mean, Ethan's a good example of this. Like, he'd never done sales before. He's obviously done well. I think he's on
Yeah,
about 20 odd K now. Charlie's one of my favorites. Like, I always say to someone with sales experience who's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, look, if I can take someone who's 20 years old, she's only been a marketing assistant and she's
yeah,
hit this, I think 9.8K in 6 months. And it was because she just learned. She was willing to
yeah.
come in and learn. But why did you decide to look at this coming from the sales job you were in?
I think just like anybody, nobody thoroughly enjoys the job, like working a 9 to 5. As much as people say, yeah, I don't mind it. It's like I don't think anyone's completely fulfilled. So for me, I weren't like 100% fulfilled with the money I was in and the hours I was working. Just the regular stuff which everybody probably says. The work I was doing just weren't like it just weren't fulfilling me. I weren't earning a lot of money for it, and I was working crazy, crazy hours. Obviously, logistics, kind of 24/7, speaking with
Yeah.
people in Australia early in the morning, USA late at night. So I think I was just looking at options. I'd tried a few different things like Shopify stores and some like brick and mortar business. I tried a few little things, and then I just thought online space sales is something I already do.
Mm.
Let me just look at high ticket sales. Started doing loads of Instagram for you page. My whole for you page was high ticket sales. Obviously, seeing every different guru that there is known to
Yeah.
man. And yeah, then I just resonated with yourself, and I just thought, let me just obviously book a call and try to learn more about it more than anything because
Yeah.
obviously you see stuff online, and for me, I don't necessarily believe everything I see online, so I wanted to
No.
just jump on.
Yeah, you should always have a bit of skepticism.
Yeah.
You should always do your due diligence and research. But yeah, interesting. What was it about us then, or myself that made you choose us over anyone else?
I think I think you just seem the most normal,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. You just seem like the easiest to get along with, and at the time. it was like October 2024. It's a massive American industry,
Yeah,
so it was all Americans, and then there was like Clothes Pro, which was obviously one of the few UK ones at the time. Obviously, there was a couple dotted about, but
yeah,
um, obviously without naming other names, I just didn't resonate with them as much, and I just seen this one as a decent opportunity. There was a few people who had like known from Liverpool as well, which
yeah.
is obviously a massive thing for me, and I was just like, yeah, let's just jump on and find out a bit more.
I don't know what it is about Scousers, but they seem to do well in this space.
There's not many of us, but the ones that
Yeah,
jump on do well. Got the gift of the gab because we don't like not talking.
yeah, yeah. Well, I suppose that's it. But you said that there's not many people from Liverpool that really do things like this. So what was it like in your environment? Because I found it so hard. I came from Norwich in Norfolk,
Yeah,
very small town, very small place. No, like as soon as you start saying you want more, it's like people don't want you to. They want to keep
100%.
where you're at. So how did you find that? Did you have many
Yeah.
entrepreneurial friends?
No, 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 no. I've got one friend who's done pretty well for himself. I think like any city, you obviously people are just in robot mode. They're just like go to work, go out, do your thing, and be happy.
Yeah,
Um, it takes a different type of person to be someone who pushes and strives for more. Sorry, it takes a different type of person for someone who wants more,
yeah,
and then an even different type of person to someone who actually goes and does it. So I quickly went from someone who was happy in my job to someone who is striving for more, like that, and obviously that raises eyebrows.
yeah.
A lot of people telling me not to do it. A lot of people being like, "Why?" Just people just don't understand. I think
No.
they don't see the vision that like I had. So yeah, obviously fell out with quite a few people and stuff like that. Not necessarily fell out, but people just distanced themselves and
Yeah,
stuff
you
like that.
start to grow apart, and it's not like for any of my old friends, if they're in real fucking danger, they're in a real bad place, I'd never turn them away. They're the people I
No,
come up with, but we certainly don't hang around anymore because we're just too different.
100%. Yeah, you just not necessarily outgrow, but like you just start the interests you used to have, which
Yeah,
was kind of the reason you were friends with these people, start to fade,
yeah,
and you don't have those same interests anymore. So I think naturally, I just distance myself
yeah,
because I was just always working, always thinking about like what I can do, like getting my 5 year plan together and stuff like that. And it just didn't have the same interest as those
no,
people. So you do. It is a at times a really lonely game. That's why it's important to get in touch with the community and get
yeah,
in touch with the network so you're not don't feel alone in it.
yeah. How did you find the close pro community?
Good, really good. I've got mates for life. Mates for life.
Yeah,
100%. I'm regularly going for coffees, going for drinks, and I'm meeting up with a few of the lads from Clothes Pro at the end of February. So
nice.
yeah, good, really good. Obviously, we did these at the Christmas party and stuff last year. That's where I obviously got to meet people. So
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, 100%. And so, talk to me about your your journey through Close Pro. How did you find it when you first started? And we kind of spoke about maybe underestimating how difficult the sales skill was going to be, but what did you find the hardest part was?
Hardest part for me. That's a good question. Let me think about that. I think the hardest part for me was the consistency
Hmm.
and actually turning up every day.
Yeah,
I think I hand on heart, I think the learning material that you've got is so detailed. I've seen a lot of other programs, and it's not as detailed. And I genuinely think that the program that you've built with the videos and that kind of stuff is really detailed. For me, it was just the consistency. It was just turning up every day to do it, which I struggled with. Like I'd still be in the mindset of I'm going out on a Friday, Saturday, um, Sunday, Monday, I was a write off. Tuesday, I was in work late, and then just doing bits here and there. Like I don't know if you remember, but I joined in the October, blasted it for October, November, had the whole of December off
yeah,
because I was just
that's
like,
it.
it's my birthday, my mate's
Yeah,
birthday, Christmas, just wasted the full month. So it was half me to then pick it back up in January. But then as soon as I kind of January come, it's easier to stay consistent.
yeah,
And that's when I started really making momentum then. So yeah,
yeah.
consistency was the hardest part.
And it is for nine times out of 10. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not, I always say 15 hours a week. That's what you need to aim for. And everyone, when they start, it's like, yeah, I can do that. In their head, they're like, "That's a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there."
Yeah.
But then you do it, and you realize how difficult it is, and it's never the level of expertise you need. It isn't like no one can understand how to become a closer. It's just it's very hard to just do the daily actions, those
Yeah.
small things consistently over time. And I
And
think
especially, sorry, mate. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say I think a lot of people
Yeah.
underestimate that.
Yeah, yeah, especially for me because I was still in that mindset of like 9 to 5.
Mm.
So that mindset of 9 to 5, you don't really see the value in delayed gratification. Like it's something that you're putting lots of work in at the start,
Yeah,
and you're not getting. You don't feel like you're making results, so it's hard to continue if you're not getting results because you're not on an offer. You're not. You're just going to work, coming home, and learning on this thing, which is for the future. So it's difficult um, coming from someone who like was a complete beginner because you're still in your old mindset. You haven't got the closer mindset yet because you're not on an offer. You're not making money on it. So it's hard to stay motivated at the time. That's what I found at the very start. But the coaching calls help with that. Like coaching calls near enough
yeah,
every day with a massive push for that.
yeah, yeah. But you're right, it is hard, and especially when you do feel like you're doing it alone. When maybe it's great when you have an online environment, but then you go back to the thing that you've been used to over the past X amount of years,
Yeah.
and people make you feel strange for doing it. You know, you are still in that kind of cycle of going out a lot because
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel right until Wednesday. So, you know, it didn't take me long to kind of get out of that because it was just so counterproductive. But I think when you start a journey like this, you start with the impression that you can keep up everything, and then you have to reach a point where you decide what you sacrifice. It's the comfort, it's the complacency, it is the going out, all that stuff. Or do you want to sacrifice your dreams, your goals, actually the things that you keep telling yourself you want? 'Cause it's so easy to say you're going to do it, but then it's doing it. That's really the
Yeah.
hard part.
I just cost of an action myself.
Yeah.
And I do that all the time, even now. Like I've been doing this full time for like 6 months now, and
Mm.
every time I'm faced with a decision that cost of an action myself, that's like been the most pivotal thing for me. It's like, right, what happens if I don't do this? Okay, it's exactly what you do with your prospects.
Yeah. Well, you know, the funny thing is that all these analogies and these objection handling techniques, they only work if you believe them.
Hmm.
So if you're getting into that habit, like how many people do you now do an objection handle with where it's the same thing? And I'm sure you
Exactly.
probably deliver that, you know, incredibly well because it's something you believe. And it's the same thing that, you know, this space is. There's a lot of salespeople who refuse to invest in themselves because if you're a normal person, you're not an entrepreneur, you've never done anything, you know, actually expecting to pay 4 or 5K is a bit of a stretch. It's like, well, what, on myself, on skills? But then if you're someone who doesn't believe in investing in yourselves, who just wants the shortcut as easy as possible, how are you going to close someone? Because that's what these programs are. You need to,
Exactly.
you need to convince someone of the power of investing in themselves. So going through a process like this, whether it's closing, even if it's building a business, whatever it is, it's the same by principle. It is that consistency. It's that delaying instant gratification. It's actually putting the work in. It's actually becoming the person you keep telling yourself you want to become.
Yeah.
And you have to live
Overcoming
it.
fear. Overcoming fear. If you can't overcome the fear of investing in someone or investing into yourself, how can you pass that energy onto a prospect to say, yeah, you need to do this? You just can't. I think you've got to invest in yourself at some level to
Mm.
prove that, like, to get that mindset so you can transfer that energy. Because whether it sounds woo woo or not, I feel like sales calls and closing calls are just the energy transfer. So if I'm not overcoming my fear on a day to day basis, if I'm not, pushing and striving for more, how can I ask them to?
Yeah.
I just don't think I can.
Yeah. There's so much, you know, similarity with coaching as well and closing.
Yeah,
Sometimes you are a decision coach. You're helping someone to make the right decision, and sometimes you need to give them a kick up the arse to do it. You need to challenge them. You need to, you know, push them in. But if you know it's right for them and it's what they need, as a coach, it's the same thing. You can't just encourage everyone all the time because people don't need the encouragement. They need the accountability. They need the tough lessons, and closing is absolutely no different. So your journey then. So we were in. How long did it actually take you to get placed on your first one?
Uh, as I say, October, November training. December I had it off, right or wrong.
Yeah.
January back to training. I got placed at the very end of Jan. So 3 working months.
Yeah.
But with a month gap in between. So technically 4.
And how do you think you are from when you first started closing in an offer a year ago to now, hitting a 17K month? Like, what do you see the differences in yourself in terms of
Crazy.
just pure skill?
Yeah, crazy. Like, I actually watched one of my first calls back the other day,
Good job.
and I was just cringing at it. Like, it was just mad. I think the best way to learn is obviously just trying to get on an offer quickly. So actually taking reps on calls and speaking to real life people.
Yeah.
Role plays are great, but actually speaking to real life people and feeling the emotions that they're feeling and seeing it is the best way to do it. So I've developed unbelievable amounts since this time last year. Like, it's crazy.
And also, it's accepting your first offer you might get might not be the last one you get. You might
No,
have to go through a few. You might have to learn different things. You have to learn the mistakes firsthand.
mate,
How long have you been in this offer now?
I've been in the trenches. I have been on the front fucking line. I don't know if I can swear. I've been on the front line. Um, just like jumping from offer to offer, trying to figure it out. Obviously, some offers have lasted longer than others. Some of them have just been like short-term things, doing webinars that flopped, and it's been tough. It's been tough, like mentally. I can only say now the past month, like January, where I've secured a really good offer that I can stay on and I know I'm going to scale on. It's been the month where I've obviously earned the most. I've got the most conviction in my calls.
Yeah.
My skills have developed the most. So yeah, that the past month's been good.
Yeah, but I think that it is really a testing ground
Yeah,
because these, let's kind of play this back. Let's say that you started Close Pro in 25, at the end of 25. Would you have been able to secure this position without necessarily going on a few offers and actually building a bit of experience?
no way, no way. This offer that I'm on is like a fortress to get into. So, you've got to have proven yourself. You've got to have earned your stripes. And another thing which I've realized, like at the time when I was going through all of the bad things, and I'm like, is this for me? Like, is this for me? I was like nearly giving up multiple times. And what I've realized now is it's made this month that much sweeter.
Yeah,
And I know that sounds cliche, and a lot of people say, no, it'll make it better, but it genuinely does. I feel like I look back on like October because I journal every day. I look back on the journal
yeah,
entries and I can feel how stressed I was writing it.
yeah,
And then now I'm like, look at the progress. So I think the trench work is needed. Some
yeah,
people don't. Some people are lucky as hell. Obviously,
yeah,
they put themselves there. They get on the first 2 offers or whatever, and they just start printing, which is
yeah.
obviously great for them. I'm not jealous or nothing, not at all.
Uh,
But
but it's like we always say, your journey is your journey.
yeah,
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And yes, it's annoying seeing people just roll into great roles, doing 10K very quickly when you're having to go through a few really bad offers, but
yeah,
the majority of people do. And it's like anything entrepreneurial. At the end of the day, it's a great opportunity to earn great money. It's going to attract a lot of people. And the more people it attracts, the harder it's going to become.
hmm
But every day you find it hard, so do 1,000 other people. Every day you persevere, 999 drop off. So
yeah,
you're right. The moment should be fucking sweet because of how hard you've had to work to get here. But that's really what success is, because now you'll start to make good money and you will consistently. You will soon realize is that what you feel now is not going to be too different day to day what you felt a year ago. In fact, more
no,
money invites more problems a lot of the time.
don't say
But
that.
but when you've earned it, when you've been through a process like that and you actually appreciate it, that's where you can start gaining the satisfaction from it. But if you didn't
Yeah,
have to work for this moment, it would become very empty very quickly. But
yeah,
because of who you've had to become and how different it is and how much you've improved, how much work you've put in, you've showed up for yourself, you've showed up for the people around you. That's why it's going to be as sweet as it is.
yeah.
Especially when
I,
we hit the 20K mark, and
yeah.
we're the 20K club officially.
I was just gonna say it's not even like obviously I've done 17K this month. Like, it sounds proper. ungrateful because obviously it's been a great month. I earned 16k that in the first 2 weeks, so I was on track for 30k this month. And like the second 2 weeks, I was on board and I was in Amsterdam and stuff like that. So it was a bit slow, but realistically, I was pacing for 30k. So there's no reason I can't do 30k in a month. So this
Absolutely.
17k is like for me, I can do more. Like it's not even. I'm not even that satisfied.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's obviously going to be a bit of you that isn't satisfied, and it needs to be, otherwise you'll stop pushing.
Yeah,
But because of how hard it's, well, not even like how hard it's been, because of how much you've had to do in yourself more than anything, like that's why it is such a well-deserved position to end up in.
yeah. Yeah, I think for me, like obviously the past few months, you see it just on your phone. It's just constant wins, wins, wins. Nobody posts the losses. Nobody posts like, oh, I've only done $900 this month and whatever. So for me, it's like I was seeing all of that, and I was looking at my situation, being like, what am I doing wrong? um, but if I knew all, well, I did kind of knew all I've got to do is just keep going, just keep trying, just keep ticking over. And that's what I did do, jump on role plays, actual calls, jumping from offer to offer to try and figure something out. Um, Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but for me, it was right. And it ended up working out.
Yeah, because again, you didn't quit. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
And a lot of people,
exactly.
when it is they're only doing it if it's, it's convenience goals. It's, you have a goal, you'll only achieve it if it's convenient to do so. But
100%.
anything worth having is going to be hard to get. So,
Yeah.
what would you say to someone who's still sitting on the fence of whether they actually start in this industry?
Someone who hasn't started yet.
Yeah, a lot of people keep looking at it and they don't take that leap to even start, let alone see it through. But what would you say to those people?
Cost of inaction themselves. Obviously, they probably don't even know what that is, but
Yeah, talk me through your cost of inaction. So let's say that you were in that position still.
yeah.
How do
So
you run through that?
I kind of like red pill, blue pill. So it's like cost of enacting myself. I've got a decision to make. I've got a fear, which is spending 3 grand, 5 grand, whatever it is that I need to spend to enroll into a program, get the skills. If I don't, let's say I'm a warehouse operative. If I don't, what happens? Let's look 3 years down the line. What happens? I continue going to work, £12.50 an hour, working night shifts, come home tired, lazy. 3 years down the line, I might get a manager promotion on £15 an hour. Still tired, lazy, not doing what I want to do. Still here, seeing all of this stuff on my phone. Am I willing to accept that? Am I willing to accept that reality for the future version of me? Yes, no. Usually, I mean, I'd be surprised if anybody said yes to that. On the other hand, I overcome the fear. I spend the 5 grand, whatever it may be, on enrolling in the program. I learn the skill, even though it could be a completely new skill and I'm starting from scratch. I learn it. I get placed onto an offer. I see all these people on my phone. I slowly start to become one of them. I'm earning 10, 15, 20k a month. Who knows what I could be earning in 3 years' time in sales? You could be earning, I mean, there's people doing way more than 30, 40k. There's people doing over 100k a month. So what if? What pill am I willing to swallow? And
I
that's
like
how
that.
I kind of make every decision. I'm like, they're the two realities. Either that happens or that happens. That's it. Which one do I like more?
Yeah.
Usually it's the right hand.
And like for yourself, then, if you didn't start, where would you be right now?
I'd be in the exact same place I was in September 24, which is in a job which, by the way, my job, I didn't hate it. I just weren't fulfilled by it.
Yeah. How much were you
But
making
I
in
was
your last job?
comfortable.
How much were you making a
Um,
month?
About just over 3k. That's before tax. So after tax, like
Yeah.
2.3k, something like that. I was comfortable,
Yeah.
but obviously you can reframe comfort because comfort's not a positive thing, and people do search for comfort, and that's not what you should be looking for.
And we've just finished the month 17.5K.
Working less hours, way more fulfilled, actually enjoying it. I actually genuinely, hand on heart, enjoy every minute of it. It's
Yeah.
weird to say.
Do you know
I've
what
got loads of different projects.
the biggest gratitude I have is not having that Sunday terror.
Yeah.
That, oh, really? I've got to wake up and go through another week of this.
Yeah.
Like, if that is your life, that is your body screaming at you that something is wrong.
100%.
And it doesn't
If
matter
you're
how much
waiting for
drugs,
Friday,
alcohol, whatever you do
yeah.
to numb that, that isn't going anywhere.
If you're waiting for a Friday, there's a problem.
Yeah.
If you're waiting for the 3 o'clock early finish on a Friday so you can go to booze, there's a problem. There's a serious problem. Because as you say, it's your body, it's your mind saying, sort this out.
Yeah.
Just sort it out. There's so many options to go with.
The pain of wasted potential is what it is.
And what happens in 5 years?
Yeah.
Will you regret not doing it? Think
Yeah.
about it. These are the decision making process that I go through every single day. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what happens?
Yeah. You know, I had a weird shower thought the other day, and it's the riskiest choice you can make is security. Because if you think about risk as the likelihood to end up in a situation you don't want to be in. So if I do something, it's high risk, it means it's likely to end up in a position I don't want. Then when I stayed in a 9 to 5, in a job where I had those feelings, that to me was the riskiest choice I could make. Because it's guaranteed to only ever lead somewhere I never want to be.
Yeah.
So starting the first business, even though it went wrong, 20 grand, 2 years down, that was far less risky for me. Because at least there was a slim chance it would lead somewhere. And though it didn't work, and even the trading after that, 6 months, 10 grand gone, even the agency that kind of worked, and it was really funny, my first client who paid me like 18 grand to build my website, they rung me the other day. They're actually going to sell their business. And then I looked and I hadn't invoiced them for hosting for like 10 months. So that's like 120 quid a month. I was like, oh, sorry about that. But they're still technically with me.
Yeah.
But all of those things that didn't necessarily work out, they led me here. So I'd never regret them. I am so grateful to go through them. So staying in a secure position is actually the riskiest thing you could do. It has the most chance of putting you in a position you never want to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that comfortability frame. It's like people don't want to make the decision because they think that they're comfortable. And realistically, like, what is comfortable about the situation? Like, people think that they're comfortable in a job that they get paid 30 grand a year for, where they're in people's lofts or, sitting in an office job. And it's like, what is actually comfortable about that? Waiting for payday, not being able to go for food whenever you want, not being able to go on 12 holidays to 12 different countries a year. Is it really genuinely from the bottom of your heart comfortable? Most of the time people realize, and this is what I say to prospects, it's like, no, it's not comfortable. Yeah. It probably isn't. So people just need to have these small mindset shifts and small, like, just reframes of the current mindset, and they'll go a lot further.
Yeah, 100%, man. I can tell how you're dealing with these objections.
That's why I've done 17K this month.
Mate, well, look, your best bit of advice that you would give someone who wants to start out in the space, what would that be?
Just start. Someone who wants to start versus someone who starts is a different person. So yeah, just start. Just invest. Don't try and do it on your own. In my eyes, that's a waste of time. Just start. Just invest into yourself. Not only are you learning the skills, but you've proven to yourself that you can invest and you can back yourself.
Yeah. I even say, like, if you're so against investing in yourself, then just start and do it without. Yeah. There's still a small chance, I mean, very small, it might work out. But if you see for yourself how difficult it is and where you need the help, at least when you come into a process, you're going to be a lot more, further down that line. You know where you need to improve, or you know where you need support. But the worst thing is the people that don't start, who just hover.
The very worst thing you can do is nothing.
Yeah, still a decision.
Exactly. It is a decision. If you don't do nothing at all, what changes if nothing changes? Nothing. So the very worst thing you can do is nothing. Either go online and look what's out there and look at YouTube, although I wouldn't recommend that too much because it'll take you so much longer and have so many more questions. But just do something. Just back yourself.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, because I played around with it for a little while and no progress was made until I actually took action. So just start would be the cliche advice.
Yeah. Well, look, from someone who's had a journey like you, I feel like even though it's a cliche, it should be powerful advice. So, look, thanks for coming on, for catching up, for sharing a bit more about the journey, how you've actually find it. It's so nice when there's an honest reflection of this space. It's not just hype and standing out of a balcony with a cigar like you're trying to be Andrew
Yeah.
Tate.
Sitting in,
Jesus
on
Christ.
the beach in Bali, just with the laptop out. It's not like, obviously that opportunity is there, but don't expect it in the first 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get messages all the time through like my Instagram and stuff like that through the content. So people message me constantly, and I'm just honest. I'm just an open book, which a lot of people I don't think are in the industry. A lot of
Yeah.
people are like just buy the program and ask me questions later. I will tell people everything, which is like, look, this is my experience. I'm not saying this will be your experience, but this has been my experience. It's not been overnight money. It's not been just done the coaching and then next minute I'm on a 30K per month offer. Like there is steps to it, and it's hard. It's a challenging game. But if it was easy, there'd be a hell of a lot more millionaires walking around than there is now, because everyone would be doing it.
But if it was that easy, everyone would do it and it would no longer be easy. So,
Exactly.
which it kind of was. Like at some point, again, I've been in it for 6 years. When I was a closer, I wasn't even a closer. It wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
No one was going online talking about high ticket closing. It was just there existed a few very successful programs that had people who sold them. That's all it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. The game's evolving as well. The game's changing every single
Yeah.
like quarter. I think it's constantly changing. The buyers are changing, the sales trainings are changing. So
Yeah.
it's just about keeping in touch and keeping updated with everything, and constantly adapting
Yeah.
and learning and just being a
Yeah.
sponge.
But like every business, because it is
Yeah.
a business at the end of the day. You're your own business. It's like running it, like coming from the agency background I did. It's like you couldn't sit there and learn how to run ads and then that's your knowledge. You always know how to run ads. The constant changes and adaptations, and iOS 14 came out that completely changed the game. Then this rule comes out. So you've got to constantly keep readapting and learning. And this is no different. It's not. And
Keep you
I
on your
say,
toes.
yeah, it's where most closers go wrong. The people who get through that first hurdle and get their offer, they get lazy. All they do is take calls, and they
Yeah.
expect just because they're taking calls, they're going to get better, and the offer is going to improve, and it's just going to be unfolded right in front of them. But if you apply the same energy that you did to get you in the role, to improving in the role, you'd scale up higher and higher and higher.
Talking to me in February last year, I got on the offer and I was like, right, that's me. I'm sorted. And then it went for a couple of months where I was like, oh shit, like this isn't working out like I
Yeah,
like the Instagram people tell me it is.
yeah,
But when it does work out, it's very, very satisfying, and it's
yeah,
very much like, finally, you know what I mean? It pays off, and when it does pay off, it's, I think, more beneficial than a lot of other businesses, which
yeah.
are probably more stressful and less reward.
Yeah, because you've got so many things to manage and do, and there's so
Exactly.
many variables that can go wrong. I miss being a closer. Yeah,
Yeah.
the glory days. But
It's pretty simple if we're being honest. Like, it's not
yeah,
easy, but it's simple. It's just jumping on calls, changing people's minds,
yeah,
changing people's lives.
yeah, pretty
That's
much,
it.
man. Well, look, again, thanks so much for coming on, man.
No problem.
Always good to catch up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you drop that 20 or 30K month in next.
In the next 2 hours or so, 3 hours.
Yeah, I'll have to get you back on, and we'll redo it. 20K.
Yeah.
But no, look, really appreciate you, man.
Sweet. Appreciate you.